Doctors on, women moving up into leadership on. So fun that you have joined us. My name is Maria, and up here with me is my co-host, Jesse. Hey. We're
Okay.
also, in a little bit, you'll get to hear from Chris too. So it's going to be a really great night. So thank you. First, I just want to say thank you for being on. If you are a guest, we are going to share that there are some prizes and there is a special phone number that you need to text the word pink to. So we're going to either put that in the chat or pop it on the screen. I have the number, which is 619-202-8225, but we'll put it visual so that you can see it. But you're going to text that word pink, and consultants, you can also text that as well because we are giving away some full size products. So yes, here it is. You want to get that in and text that. Again, you're texting the word pink to 619-202-8225 because there will be a prize wheel, which is so fun. All right. So again, just want to say thank you so much. If you're a guest, I just want you to know how special you are and that you were hand chosen and invited to be on with us this evening. And I want to invite you to just have an open heart because we want to elevate your life. We want to elevate your thought process. And we also are going to share some insight into our pink world, which is super, super fun. So don't forget to text that number. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. And then we're going to jump into the 4 main reasons why women come into Mary Kay. And I've got some helpers with me to share some additional insight, which is going to be great. But basically, before I was entered into Mary Kay, I graduated from college and I was serving in the Peace Corps. If any of you know what the Peace Corps is, it is a 2-year volunteer program in a third world country. So I had come from serving in a community which very impoverished economically. They were powerful in heart and wonderful, happy people, but they really didn't have much. And I was not taking care of myself even before I was in the Peace Corps. I was always just kind of a rough girl. I washed my hair with water, the shampoo, I washed my face with the shampoo that fell down onto my face. Okay. So no skincare, nothing. And especially in the Peace Corps, my skin had actually gained the texture of a tortoise. Want you to think about that. Okay. We're talking rough elements, no microdermabrasion and hydration like we have now, beautiful glowy skin. So when I got exposed to the product, it really did transform my face, and I love the product. Our product's amazing, but it really transformed my heart and my life. And so that is why I stay. And I started Mary Kay single, was engaged, got married. We did a big season of no kiddos, 8 years before we had kids. And now you are looking at someone with a 1-year-old. She just turned 1, my baby, our surprise baby, and a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. So navigating this through different seasons of life. So what I'm going to do is jump into, and you guys, Jessie, who's next to me, you're going to get to hear a little bit about her because I got some specific questions. And just shout out to Jessie in the chat, you guys, because she is elevating her business to the next level. So we're going to jump in about finances and how you make money in Mary Kay. And Chris is going to be able to pop on and share some things with you. But Jessie's in a very special place right now because she's chosen to move up to the next level of leadership. So in Mary Kay, we're going to show you how you get started, which is awesome sauce, but we double our money. I want you to think about that. Think about doubling your money, okay? That means that you could have an event, sell product, however you're working this, and take home half. Our last share that we did, our beautiful friend Bree, who's not on tonight, shared that. She had some really interesting statistics. Affiliate marketing, people are getting 3 to 5% for like promoting a product, being an influencer. 3 to 5% seems like little compared to 50% doubling your money. I also think double is just easier to do math, okay? Because if you sell 100, you make 50. If you sell 500, you make 250. If you sell 1,000, you make $500. Okay, that is the best out there. So in Mary Kay, we show and share the product, whether that is virtually, socially, in person. There's so many different ways to do this. And at the point of sale, you immediately make money like a cash machine. Okay. I remember one time I was working a corporate full-time job and the power windows broke on my car. And I was like, I need a raise. Like, I need to go get these windows fixed. When you live where I live, which is in the desert, you need air conditioning, and not having those windows, when your window is down, it's 120 outside, it's 120, 130 inside. So I was like, what can I do? Oh, I'm gonna go turn on the money faucet and host some parties and make that money to go pay for that extra. And so in that season of my life, that was what that was for. So Melissa, if we can bring Chris on, I'm gonna have Chris share too. But you guys, there's basically two main ways that we make our money. We've got the product, and then we also have team building. And a really important thing to know in Mary Kay is that this is a dual marketing plan. Okay, meaning everybody makes 50%, but when you're building a team, and Chris just finished DIQ and just elevated her paycheck to the next level, Jessie is on the brink building her own her own unit, and this is also going to quadruple her income. But when these women have team members, we have team members, everybody's getting 50%. But part of that 50%, Mary Kay contributes back in a love check. Okay, so I want you to think about, oh, partying, you're making hundreds of dollars. Team building, you're making thousands of dollars. Leadership, it's now thousands of dollars a month. Okay, so huge elevation. So Chris, I would love for you to share just this week. You partied, you just partied, had parties, shared the product, put some
I know, right?
and then just
Partying in a good way.
yes, a good way. It is so fun what we do, right?
Yeah.
And then if you could share, you've bought so many cool things for your family. Just a couple things that you purchased with your Mary Kay money would be awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so real quick, let me just tell you how I came into this, because this is the other thing I want you to know, ladies, is one of the taglines in Mary Kay is "It just fits," because it just fits your life no matter where you are. So I spent 20 years in corporate America, healthcare administration. I worked like a dog. I'm just going to say that, right? And then I was laid off after 20 years. I was like, what? What the heck? And I worked in HR, right? So I did all the compensation and the benefits for the employees of the hospital. So I know what it's like to give raises, not give raises, all that kind of stuff, right? So one of the things that when I came into Mary Kay, I came in because of the philosophy, which is faith first, family second, career third, because my faith is like oxygen to me, but also career was at the bottom. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, you can live like that. So that was what drew me. And then I just knew I needed to be in Maria's life. That was the other thing. Like, women in this company are amazing, but that's a whole nother topic that somebody else might get into. So as far as finances go, what I love about it is I get to decide when I get a raise. I just go hold more parties, right? And so Maria's right. I personally am partying to 50, right? I'm holding 50 parties. And I'm in this last week, I've held 4. So we're down to 46. And it's just fun, right? But the cool thing about it is because we earn 50%. So between yesterday and today, yesterday I had a party, today I had a party. And I'm only going to share these figures with you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you what's available. Okay. So between my party yesterday and this morning, $725 in 24 hours. So half of that is my profit. Okay. And I'm just having fun. It's like, I mean, the other thing is sometimes what gets in your way is I don't know enough information. All you got to do is put this on, go like this, take it off. Simple. It's more of the connection that you're making with the people. So we talk a lot about parties because it's a great way to be very intentional with your time, right? Which all of that you learn through our company. But here's a couple of things that I have used the money for. So we have season tickets to the Dodgers. So the last couple of years, especially last year, I was really focused on it. I was like, you know what? I think I can pay for that 100% with my Mary Kay money. And we get to break it up into 4 payments. But it, you know, it, it's, it's a, it's a check. You know what I mean? Like, but I did it. So we broke it up into 4 payments. I paid for that last year. So all this year sitting in the seats when I'm watching the game's different because I'm like, dang, like I paid for this with my Mary Kay money. Also recently, my husband needed a new barbecue and he wanted this really fancy barbecue. So that was my goal and had my goal poster up. And so completed that in May while I was in DIQ. Gosh, there's just been so many things. When my husband, turned 60, which he had on his bucket list to go to the Kentucky Derby, and I funded that with Mary Kay money. Yeah, he wanted to go to the Kentucky Derby. We're big sports fans. And so he was like, I've always wanted to do that. I'm like, okay, I got this. So I started saving the money, saving my profits, setting it aside. And I paid for the trip 100%. So that's another thing. So whether it's travel, whether it's, you know, something that you want for the family, whatever it is, car, whatever it is, you just have to make the decision. And then you get to decide how quickly also, because working in HR, I know when those windows went down on Maria's car, ain't no way she's going over to HR to say, I need more money. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, just go back to work, person. Right. But when you have a Mary Kay business, you get to just decide, okay, I'll just do a few more faces. So, because we earn 50%. So anyway, anything else you wanted me to share, Maria?
That was fabulous. I love it. And great week this week. Woohoo. And it's not even over. It's only Wednesday. Right. Today's Friday. Just
Friday.
kidding.
Jesse's like,
I've
yeah.
been on summer with the kids. So
It's
woo,
Friday.
it's
It's
fun
Friday, but
Friday.
still
All right.
Friday. But still,
Good.
yeah. The point is if you really look at it too, really to think about it, ladies, we're talking yesterday and today.
Right. 2 days.
24 hours, really, because 3 o'clock yesterday and 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, and how long did those parties total take you each
An
party?
hour.
Right. Boom.
So in 2 hours time, in
Yeah.
24 hours, I made $735 and half of that's my profit. So yeah, absolutely. Good point, Jesse. Yeah. So that's the other thing too. Sometimes people think, oh, but I probably have to put in like a gazillion hours, right? No, you just have to be intentional, and we help you do that. We help you learn how to do that, because we all kind of have to learn how to do that with everything, right? I mean, with all of our time, but yeah. So anyway, there we go. Super
I
fun.
love it. Perfect. Okay, so ladies in the chat, if you had if you had $1,000 in your hand, okay, if you had an extra $1,000, we want to know what you'd do with it. And Melissa just put 2 comments, get you into the drawing. And after, we're going to next talk about freedom and flexibility, and then we're going to draw for a product, which will be so fun. So you guys, Jessie is in such an exciting place in her business, and I asked her to share a little bit about freedom and flexibility and how it's allowed her to better balance the important, like what she values in life. Okay, so Jessie, you want to take it away and share with us?
Yeah, this was really fun for me to kind of sit down and like look at too, because you know, my life has changed so dramatically. I've been in Mary Kay for 11 years, but in that 11 years, it's changed. I started out with a 1-year-old. He's now 12 next month, years old, not months. He's 12 next month. And, you know, we've been in private school the whole time. I was working as a general manager at Chick-fil-A for 5 years, which, you know, in hindsight, looking back, I was like, I was driving 45 minutes there one way and 45 minutes back. And I was working 40 plus hours a week. I was a general manager, so took work home with me. My son thankfully goes to a private school, but you know, there was days there was mornings I didn't drop him off. There was events and trips that I didn't get to go to because I was working full time or was called into work last minute. So when I was thinking about freedom and flexibility, I was like, what would it look like? You know, this was back when I was working, to be able to wake up and say, you know, today, you know, we get an email last minute or a text last minute. Hey, can you come on the field trip today? Hey, can you be present for this today in the school? And I was like, that's more valuable to me than driving 45 minutes from my house back and forth a day. And so, when Mary Kay and I took this on, I was like, wow, I now get to prioritize not just taking my son to and from school, not just showing up for those events, but I get to prioritize creating those moments in that relationship with him as he's growing, because they're only little ones and they're only going to get to go on that Catalina trip, 3-day trip one time. Which mama gets to go on this year. They only get to go, to the pumpkin patch when they're 5 one time, in kindergarten. It's not a replay for the next year. There's not I'll catch it next time. There's I get to do it this time, where there's not a next time. And so for me, when I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, Mary Kay has been such a blessing, because I don't have to choose, am I going to miss those moments or show up to work for a paycheck? I get to do both. I get to show up to work, and I get to show up for every moment with my son, which has been such a blessing. I absolutely love it. So I think for me, that's been such an important moment for me to be able to do that, prioritize that.
I love that. And Jesse, I just know when you take the kids and you pick up the kids, that's when they spill the tea. That's when the kids tell you all the stuff. So it's such a critical time that you get to be, yeah.
Our wild stories last year. My son gets in the car. He's like, Mom, I got tea. And I said,
Yeah.
Tell me,
Boom.
I got you.
But I do love that, I do think in today's world, it's time, you don't get the time back. And I also worked a corporate position where someone told me what time I had to show up, or I had to ask for vacation or call in sick, and like, are they going to let me off? Or like, no, suck it up and come in.
And I'm just thinking too, is not only that, but the energy, we get that we have I was listening to Taylor Swift every day, and she's like, think of your energy as a commodity, as something very special. She's like, because whenever you give your energy out, she's like, it's sucking from you, and it's like it's taking from you. And I thought and thinking about that, and I'm like, how much time and energy, not just time, but energy, does it take to show up to work? Does it take to like deal with what's happening at work and then come home? And how much energy do you have left to give over? And should our kids, and not just our kids, but our husbands, our spouses, our family get the leftover energy of our day?
Right. Or what would it look like if you got to design it around giving them your best?
Yes.
Maria, you said something about time. I just want to throw this in there because
Sure.
I heard a top director just this last week talk about that in recent statistics, the number one commodity that women are looking for is time. And so, yes, we have an amazing product, but we're really selling time. Like, we're selling the opportunity or providing the opportunity for women to create more time with their kids. And it's absolutely true what Jesse's saying. Our youngest is now 30, but when I would pick him up from high school, those were the conversations. And I don't know, Maria has all girls, but boy conversations can get a little cray-cray.
Wild. They're wild. I have a boy. She's not wrong.
Boy conversations are wild. You just have to thank God I had a pastor's wife who said to me, don't react. Like, wait a week, right? When they say the crazy stuff, and then they'll come back and they won't even know what you're talking about. But in the moment, just don't respond. Or
you're like, oh, wild.
That's so crazy,
Cool.
But anyway, we're providing an opportunity for you to gain more time for those things that are more important than giving it away to somebody else. So it's huge. Big deal.
So awesome. So you ladies, freedom. And I love in the chat too, private jiu-jitsu lessons. And yes, boys are crazy, Sammy. Oh my goodness. So, and Melissa, is it possible, are we ready can we do a drawing? Yes, we can. Okay, awesome. So you guys, ladies, keep in the chat. It's awesome. And thinking about that freedom and flexibility, it's just designing your life. There's no territories. So many great things. Make as little or as much as you want. No glass ceiling. And here is our prize wheel going around, spinning. Yay! Okay, Jennifer Garcia, you won. Do you want to know what you won? We haven't even decided yet. Just kidding. Melissa and I will pick something. So I chose to give out Indulging Soothing Eye Gel. Guys, this is amazing. It is cucumber, botanical, green tea extract. You keep it in your refrigerator underneath your eyes. Oh, it is just awesome. So, yes, yay. Congratulations. Okay, so the next thing we are going to talk about, guys, is the friends and the frivolous. And this is one of those things that when I heard about Mary Kay and the opportunity, kind of was a little more business minded. And I liked like, oh, finances, I need to make some money. Freedom and flexibility. There's no glass ceiling. I can do this when I want. I'm in. That was kind of my personality at the time and what I was looking for. The friends and the frivolous was just this beautiful diamond encrusted silver lining because I didn't really realize it was something that I needed was a powerhouse sisterhood. And ladies, I was not raised a lot by my mom. My mom was in the household, but started drinking pretty heavily when I was 5 or 6 years old. And so she just spent a lot of time away from home, a lot of time in rehab, a lot of time in trouble with the law. And my dad was the main provider, and I had 3 brothers at the time. Of course, when my dad remarried, we got 2 more brothers. So here I am, 5 brothers, 3, and then 2 more bonus. And I'm mowing the lawn, total manpower, okay? Sports bra or no bra. Didn't have my ears pierced, okay? It was, so, and I was telling you guys my skin was like a tortoise. The sisterhood and the friends and like the female empowerment, it's this amazing tribe. So, Jesse, I had another amazing question for you, which is, I know it's meant a tremendous amount to me, but the sisterhood, what has it meant to you to experience and have a supportive culture in your journey and just this tribe of women, right, with values and amazingness? Like it's so hard to so hard to capture, you guys, the heart of what we have. So good luck, Jesse. I hope you can try to help them paint a picture of if I can come in as rough and tomboy and be accepted and loved, like it is the most empowering environment. So if you can share, if you've got examples, Jesse, I know it's going to be great.
It's so hard to capture it. And I because it's not like any other community. And that's, I think, what's the hardest part is that, when you get a group of women together, we tend to be, catty and like, who's, in it for yourself and competitive. And that, like, we say that's not Mary Kay at all. Like, that's not the sisterhood. That's not what we are. And it's hard because people are like, but really, it's a group of women. I'm like, no, but like, really, it's not, And so things that have, impacted me. So my Brie actually is, who's not on tonight, one of my closest friends, and our stories align a little bit in the fact that we both, lost our moms at similar times. I had a baby a year before her. And so when we were first getting to know each other 11 years ago, she was helping me through grief. I hadn't grieved. I lost my mom rather suddenly at the age of 22. And she had lost her mom suddenly, and she had started a grief process, and she had started therapy, and I hadn't done that, but I'd had a baby, and I had done a lot of research on the baby and like how to like raise him and like all of these different things. And so we swapped info essentially. And through that process of like, hey, here's what I've learned about grief. Let me help you. I was like, let me help you with what I've learned about raising a baby. We both have little boys, and we had this bond and this friendship, and now it's gone further than just her. I now have so many friends that come up in different aspects of your life, not just in Mary Kay. They show up for the Mary Kay. If you're like, hey girl, I need help with this, or I need ideas for this, they're there. But they also show up for the other things, whether it's a call of like, hey, it's a rough day and I just need someone to talk to. And they're there, they're listening, they're showing up on your doorstep, like I've shown up on women's doorsteps that are Mary Kay with a basket for Mother's Day. And I'm like, happy Mother's Day, we're here for you. And so it's not easy to explain, like they're there for you in your business. They will always breathe belief back into you about your business. Chris is several months ahead of me as a director right now and has just debuted. And before everyone got on, Marie was like, you should connect with Chris. She has some amazing, encouraging words for you. And I'm like, done. Okay, let me give Chris a call, and because I'm just behind her, and it's just like, it doesn't matter whether it's business or personal. If somebody else in the Mary Kay world is in need, then others show up for you. I'm like thinking of specific examples, and I'm like, they all kind of right now incorporate Brie because Brie and I live in the same city. So like I've shown up to watch her son for her. She's shown up, she's taken my son for me, like just personal experiences like that. But then she's always the one that's held the space and belief for me to become a director. In the days where I'm calling her crying, like, I don't think I can do this anymore, she's like, okay, hold on, let's have a deep conversation. Let's talk about this. Let's go through this. And, you know, has been an integral part of shifting my marriage, my business, my finances, so much of it just through being supportive and there, you know. And I don't think that I was actually talking to somebody on a call recently. I was saying, you know, it's amazing to have that culture of women in your life that are in your church and that community. And most of us have that community at church. Not all, but most. But what we don't always have is somebody who holds the space of belief that you can always be like the best version of yourself. And they're always like, you might not see that. You might not be like, how can I be a better mom? How can I be a better employee? How can I be a better wife? How can I? And they always can see it, and they're always breathing that back into you in our space. And they're always there to celebrate your successes. Like, Melissa's always like messaging me on like IG. She's like, way to go, girl. I saw what you posted. Like, I'm so excited for you. You know, she's texting me, she's calling me. Like, they're just so excited, and like for anything. I'm sure you do it with Brie, Maria.
Yeah, well, we get excited for each other. But I think that's such a unique thing, is a
I
culture.
saw mail you mailed her the other day, by the way, as another example. Maria mailed Brie something, and I happened to be at her house, and I was like, oh my gosh, Brianna Goodwin, future NSD. And I was like, that's such an affirmative, positive thing. Who'd you get this from? She's like, Maria. And I was like, of course you did. Maria's like over here, like growing.
Yes. Yes, snail mail, you guys. That's just another little example, ladies, of like, when was the last time you got a positive postcard in the mail? Like, when you're in Mary Kay, we are showering you with it's such an uplifting, amazing environment. And my lifelong friends, I mean, Chris is on here, we are best friends, but Mary Kay kept us connected. And because your clients too, you're designing a business, you're growing an empire, the product runs out. And so I have my Mary Kay sisters, but I have people that have been purchasing product for me for 16 years of reorders, and I've seen their kids or grandchildren's graduate. So it's just another thing you may not realize that you need, or you might be like, I need to change my circle right now. And we may seem really positive, but we want to invite you in. That's why you're on, is that it might feel a little bit weird and be like, whoa, friends that are positive and elevate you, but it is true. It's available. And if that is how you're feeling, like, we are inviting you to be part of it. So ladies, if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, because we got one more topic, which is foundational growth, which is about building your confidence. And then I'm going to share with you what it looks like to get started. But if you've got questions, or there's something you're like, I'm intrigued, but I need to know this, and we didn't answer it, please put it in the chat, and Melissa's going to hook you up with more prize drawings. Okay. Because we're going to talk about, and this is also one that's an intangible thing. It's very hard to capture how personal development, confidence building, having a mentor, like our atmosphere, it's something you can't see, but it is transformational. And I was on a call with my mentor the other day, and she said, Mary Kay designed this company, ladies, with an environment to help women build a magnificent lifestyle, to build their belief so they will elevate their standards. That, I was like, oh, this is such a great way to capture what we're doing. That through this company, and through the act of holding a party and being really nervous at first, and then your 10th party where you feel more confident, or right from even just being nervous about saying yes to this, to doing it and getting the training, like that change. So if you had 10 times more confidence, how would your life look different? How would this impact your family if you had more confidence? And one of the ways that we do it's just the process of building a business, build your confidence. Also, the community that we talked about, and there is mentorship. You are your own boss, but you're not alone. That is an amazing thing. That just right now, when Jesse said, oh, Jesse, you already told Chris that I'm moving into leadership, you got a person that's cheering for you and is like, dude, call me. You're having a rough day. Like, I'm here. You have a support. system, which is that elevates your confidence. Or someone that just did it. Hey, how did you finish? Tell me. You have women that are willing to share. I also want you ladies to know that Mary Kay gives you a platform. Okay, Brie, who's not on tonight, she just, like Mary Kay Corporate, just asked her to speak on a stage of 6,000 women to share her brilliant training. And when she started, there was no way that she had any public speaking skills or could even talk in front of a group of people, right? So through the parties and doing Zooms and trainings and Mary Kay appointments, she's at the confidence level where I asked her, I was like, I need the inside scoop. Tell me how it felt behind the scenes. And she was like, I kind of had butterflies, but like a nervous excitement. That's not even a word. Nervous excitement, but like confidence to hold a microphone and pour over a stage of 6,000 with 6,000 women. Like who would have thought? So just expand your heart of if you had 10 times more confidence than you had right now, how would that serve your life? How would that look different? Okay. Is there, yeah, that's a great question, Sammy. Okay, we're gonna get into that. Melissa, do we wait to do the drawing at the end or do we do one now or we do it all? She doesn't know. Okay. And do you have a product, Melissa, that you want to highlight? Did you pick something?
Did you pick something already that Jen got? Did you tell her already what it was?
I did an Indulge Soothing Eye Gel.
Okay, okay. So you get to pick. I have a cream blush
Ooh.
or a cream bronzer.
Boom. Okay, ladies, a cream blush or a cream bronzer. Okay. I love that. So here it goes. Another prize. How perfect is that? Okay. Yes. Great. Okay. And your question is perfect because that is what we're going to talk about right now, which is, okay, I am intrigued. I want this. How do I get started? So, back office fees. Yes and no. There's an eStart, which is your back office. Basically, it is permission to be a beauty consultant. It is an agreement, and that is $35. That comes with the tools that you need to run your business virtually, and it comes with a website, and it comes with access to the back office. Okay, and that's just a one-time deal. Okay. Once you do the 35, then it unlocks if you want to have physical product, which is our starter kit bag. We call that the eStart Pro. That is a gorgeous bag. It comes with trays and mirrors, and then all that product, that's almost $400 of retail product, comes with the starter kit. Okay, so you have a choice. If you like right now, you just need to decide like I want in, you can do the 35 and then you have 2 weeks to decide if you want to get the bag and all of the kit. I can tell you it's really amazing because you have product to hold and share. And if you're going to do anything in person or you want to use it, the product on yourself, the bag is an awesome way to get started. So that's it. Your beauty consultant sends you an invitation, which is an agreement link, and you simply fill that out. But we have something extra, extra special this evening, which is if you say yes, we're giving you a little bonus of mine's like almost used up because this is amazing. It is our Mary Kay Foundation Primer. Okay, so if you do the eStart or the other or both of them, one or the other, boom, you're going to get a foundation primer. And we chose this really specifically and strategically, ladies, because Mary Kay on our website, which comes with your eStart, a website for a year that Mary Kay completely maintains, updates all the products, has all of these tools. There is a brand new AI foundation finder tool. So, and if you need foundation, you're going to have your primer on underneath, which is equally as awesome. That's going to go under, and you can have people do a challenge of finding, get 10 people to use the new foundation finder tool, and you're going to have that at your fingertips right away. So the big thing to know, ladies, is that there is love and support. You're your own business owner, but you're not alone. So do we have any other questions? Or Jesse or Chris, do you have a question you feel like sometimes people might have on their heart and we need to answer for them?
Sometimes what I hear from people is what happens if I don't feel like it's working?
Well, if nothing happens, really, I think sometimes we start going down the crazy train of like,
we do. Because sometimes people, first of all, you don't even want to think about that. But I always say to people, it's like broccoli. If you try it, you don't like it, you don't eat it again.
Right. And it's worth giving a try. That was the other thing.
Absolutely. You gotta
is-
try it.
Yeah.
So that's a
Okay.
question that I get a lot, or the other question that I get is, you know, how you're talking a lot about the mentorship, but like, what does that look like in the beginning? Like, how do I start in the beginning? Like, where do I go for the first person that I talk to, or the first party, or things like that? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I get that one.
Yeah. And knowing that there's a welcome appointment immediately with a director who's assigned to your success. Like that's what you need to know. There is a director assigned to your success and a
Mhm.
welcome appointment and a whole process step by step to help you guide you through and get you started.
Oh, Steph's got some good questions here.
Yes. Okay. If you could do something differently from the beginning.
What are things you would do different in Mary Kay if you could do things differently from the beginning?
That's such a like good reflection question. I think sometimes I think, oh, I wouldn't change it because there was so much growth that I needed, but I would have asked for help sooner. I think sometimes as a woman, I thought I'm gonna figure this out on my own when we're like screaming at you. There's a sisterhood. There's people that want to help. I think I sat in my own stuff instead of just saying, I want to move up. How do I do it? I need help. I had three people say no. I had an obstacle. How do I overcome this? Like bouncing back faster if I could do that. And two, I would have just like one of the things that I really needed help on was just like elevating my image. So I would have just been like, you know what? I'll learn how to walk in heels and wear a bra. Like that's solid advice. Okay. You guys, it was rough. Peace Corps. I was telling you. I think I did it in my own time, but I like my skin was like a tortoise. There was some steps that were like pretty slow for me. But maybe that's how it needed to happen. Okay, and then an auto ship minimum fee. No, in Mary Kay, it's the one time. Once you do an e-start, you're in. There's no annual, nothing. And then once you place your order or have inventory, you're an active beauty consultant. That's a business decision. You can order once or all the time. So there's no sales
Cool.
quota. There's no pressure. It is you do it and design it how you want. Just
So on auto ship minimum fee or auto ship, I've also been asked not just from a consultant perspective recently, but from a customer perspective, is there an auto ship program for customers as well? Which the answer is no. There's no auto ship. It doesn't matter if you're a consultant or a customer side. There's no auto ship at all.
And what there is you having a personal relationship with your client, and when they need more product, they're messaging you, like I get a text message, oh Maria, I need my skincare set, versus them automatically being on something. And that does set us apart, ladies, that you're building a relationship. We have clients, they are a personal part of what you're building. So it's very easy to do a customer delivery and get them the product like a drop ship through the company, but there's a relationship there where and you guys, skincare and makeup, the seasons change, they need advice, but there's training on that to help you guide your customer in what they need.
Yeah.
Steph had another good question.
Yeah.
Melissa answered it about if I don't sell something in 6 months, do I have to re-sign? And no, you don't. You
Right.
have really up to a year.
You have a full
You have a
year
full
in your
year.
business.
But the other thing too is I know we're talking a lot about the selling, and the product sells itself, ladies. I mean, we give women the opportunity to shop, but it's really about building the relationship. Because when you go to, okay, it's a small group, Ulta or Sephora, like, no, we don't talk about other companies, right? We just don't do that. We focus on our stuff because we know it's phenomenal. But my point is, when you walk into those stores and it's like this myriad of stuff, there is no personal beauty consultant coming up next to you that's like an AI person going, hey, how can I help you? What's your skin type? Like, what are you struggling with? Tone, texture, none of that. That's what we do. And when you build that, just like Maria said, I started 14 years ago. And at my first party, I had 9 guests. I sold $1,100. And
Wow.
all of those women are still skincare clients 14 years later. Every 3 to 4 months, they're reordering their skincare. I know the names of their dogs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, we have a phenomenal product, but we're also filling a need in women that to come alongside to build them up, because it's an external application with an internal impact. When you're putting the skincare on your face, it has an internal impact because you carry yourself differently, right? But we're also coming alongside and we're hearing their concerns and we're giving them specific, here's the result, here's a cocktail for your skin. So it's really about, Mary Kay really created this business to build relationships. Like it's not a one and done thing. So it's on average, if you have 100 skincare customers in your customer base that you build to, it's residual income of $1,000 a month on average, because they're constantly reordering their skincare. But just to give a little bit different perspective. So that's the other question I get, and Jesse and Maria can answer this too, is, but I'm not a salesperson. Good. That's good. We don't want salespeople. We want women that want to build relationships. But that's another question that I get all the time, because that's not our focus. The product's just going to sell itself. So that was just on my heart to share.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, we build connections. We want you to be kind and wonderful. Okay, so our last question, if we don't sell in the year, does our membership expire? Not if you don't sell, but if you don't place one order in a calendar year, yes, then we invite you to re-sign an agreement. Right, which is you'd get an invitation to come back into the company if you start and for whatever reason didn't do anything. But if you placed an order within that year based on you using the product, people purchasing the product, then the year starts from that date, if that better clarifies that. So, okay, well, ladies, I want to make sure that when you had texted Pink that you do, there's a couple more questions on there and that we will follow up with you individually, especially if you've got more specific questions. I hope that this just elevated your evening and got you thinking about what you want. Get a goal, put it on your refrigerator. And have a beautiful night with your families. And I do want to shout out to Melissa. Thank you so much for just having a prize wheel, having all the names in there, having pictures, and Jesse for asking my questions, and Chris for 20 minutes before being willing to also elaborate and chime in. And I absolutely love doing life with you ladies. And we want to invite our guests to come and be part of this. So thank you so much, ladies. And make sure you fill out that last part and don't forget about the signing bonus. Woohoo! We appreciate you being on. And Jesse, we are cheering you on to finish strong, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, October 1st.
Yay! Yeah, call me, Jesse.
Yes, be in touch for
Chris.
sure.
All right. Have a great night, ladies.
All right. Bye, ladies.